We're back.
We're back, baby.
A little bit of a hiatus, but He Knows Ball is back. And dare I say, better than ever? I don't know if that... Can we say it's better than ever, Corey?
I mean, new year, new ball.
And New York, as John Downey from the island of Staten. JD, how we doing, buddy?
I'm good, guys. Back on my own way, I guess, but it's fun.
It's great. Sadly, John is no longer not with us, just not present
in our hearts.
He's in not old York, but New York. He's in the newest York that America has. It's a great place. If you haven't been there, you should go and travel there. I think it'd be a great trip. What do you think about that, Cam?
Never been to the island of Staten. Have been to the island of Manhattan. That's about it when it comes to the New York side of it. I don't know if Buffalo falls into Old York, but I haven't trekked up there.
Buffalo's basically Canada.
I've basically been in the woods of Old York, but not New York, not like where the city never sleeps, like Staten Island does. Probably just up all night making bagels and pastries and other Italian things.
Can you attest to that, JD?
Very true. Yeah, there's probably like 5 bagel stores on the same block. Usually, what happens.
You know, I'm still waiting for my giant bagel, JD. You're gonna have to ship it up.
That's
here.
true.
My giant breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, one day you'll get it. One day.
We got Soren and Big Z behind the camera, looking handsome as ever, staying loose and sexy. New Deucers, Cam. We love to see it, dude. It's all. I'm so happy to be back. Maybe it's the Celsius I drank this morning. I don't know, but I'm fired up, and I know you boys are. But, you know, even though we're back better than ever, not getting rid of everything. We got to keep some traditions. And as per usual, we're going to kick it off with some trivia. Does he know ball?
Does he know ball?
Alrighty. We're finally back in this semester. And unfortunately, like a lot of us, probably did not start the semester off on the strongest foot, depending on what side of the table that you are on. But we had the always wonderful wild card weekend this week. We're going to keep it light for trivia this week. Hopefully you guys actually paid attention to the stat sheets, because today we're going to go over the number 1 in 3 categories: passing leader, rushing leader, and receiving leader for this weekend. We're going to start off with who was the passing leader for this weekend. Everyone, one guess only.
We'll start with Mr. Staten Island. JD, take the first crack at it, buddy.
I know who the receiving leader is, so when we get to that, leave it to me. But passing, I don't know. Not many guys did too good this weekend.
Surprisingly, and the one man who was probably hated on the most going into this playoff window.
Very true. Very, very true. I can tell you who it's not. It's the man's jersey that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's not Jalen Hurts.
CJ Stroud? I don't know.
It is CJ
It
Stroud.
is
That's what I was
CJ
thinking,
Stroud.
yeah.
CJ Stroud was the passing leader today. Yesterday?
weekend.
Did they play Saturday?
No, they played Saturday.
They played
Saturday,
Saturday.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do remember. I kind of know ball. CJ Stroud, 282 passing yards, 22 completions on 33 attempts, 1 TD, 1 interception. Not bad from the guy who definitely has been probably drugged through the water for the last 4 weeks heading into this
I mean, that's
wild card
what
weekend.
happens when it looks bad on the quarterback. But when you have no offensive line, that's kind of what happens. But then also Dicker the kicker gets popped. That usually helps out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That when he went to the sideline and he like had his hands up, like kind of felt bad for him a little bit. But like honestly, if I was in that situation and I had a 280-pound man running at me, I'd probably just try to swat.
I would get out of the way.
The volleyball spike might work eventually.
All right, what's the next one?
Next one, we're going over the rushing leader for this weekend.
Is it the King?
What King? Because it depends on if you're talking in South Philly, it might be a different King.
No, it's not the South Philly. It's the King of England. That's what I'm talking about now. We're talking about King Henry.
It is Derrick Henry. 186 rushing yards, 26 carries, 2 TDs. An absolute disgusting weekend. I don't think he's ever been able to put up numbers like that on the Tennessee Titans. Real shame. I saw
against the Colts he did that. Against the AFC South he ate. But
that's true. That is true. I saw something. It was like, I can't believe the Titans were never a good team, and then all the replies from it are literally like, you guys realize it was Ryan Tannehill, right? Like, who did they have? They had Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and I'm drawing a blank on the other wide receiver. They've had a stacked offense.
Corey Davis.
Yes, they've had a stacked
Jets
offense over
Jets
the years.
legend Corey Davis, one of John's favorite players.
And then we're going to give this last one to Corey because Corey has not said anything. And I believe JD already knows the answer for this last one. But receiving leader of the week.
Well, it's got to be the lad McConkey.
It
Of
is
course.
Lad McConkey.
Is it Ladarius McConkey? I saw something last night where someone called him Ladarius, and that's what he's going. He's no longer Lad. It's Ladarius McConkey.
I don't know about this for sure, but before we get into that, 9 receptions on the day, did not pull up the targets, 197 yards, 1 TD. Dog. I mean, I don't even know. Is that the most that a rookie
I think it was the rookie record.
Because I saw that they had like Fox or whoever was broadcasting the game after that like pulled up a graphic of like the top 5 like wild card receiving record holders because like I believe it was Calvin who led the
him and Demarius they were and Lad's like 3rd I think now.
Yeah, and that was against what, the Dallas Cowboys in 2016. That was that still haunts me to this day. Des Bryant catch.
BTA.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot to not be happy about that game. There's a lot not to be happy about AT&T Stadium. Thankfully, Detroit hopefully does not have to go there next season.
But, we're talking about Ladarius McConkey, rookie receiver for the Chargers. Why don't we kick off with that game? First game of Wild Card Weekend. It's funny if you just look at the stat sheet. McConkey had just under 200 yards. Justin Herbert only had 242 yards. The rest of the offense, non-existent, kind of like John's presence here in Scranton, unfortunately. But, I mean, Jay Herbo, 4 interceptions. Usually when you turn the ball over 4 times as a quarterback, it's usually what happens. You usually lose the football game, and God, it was a really ugly football game.
Yeah, this was disgusting. I mean, 4 turnovers for the Chargers, 3 for the Texans. I don't know, that first half, I mean, that late touchdown from Stroud and that field goal, but just that first half both did not look good. Like at both teams, just like you said, just non-existent. And then that second half, it was just the Texans had more opportunities to score and the Chargers just kept turning the ball over. Simple as that. This could have easily been like a 16-12 game.
And I think this was a game that a lot of people, including myself, really thought the Chargers were going to kind of show that they're here. Harbaugh had been great all year in his first year in Los Angeles. But then the Texans, who a team all year kind of got hated on. Stroud had a sophomore slump. Going into the playoffs, a bunch of guys hurt. The offensive line, Swiss cheese. Like, there was a lot of things that pointed to the direction that the Chargers would, if not handle this game, at least walk away with a W. And the furthest thing from, I mean, Dicker the kicker, his poor soul getting lit up trying to spike the blocked PAT. But yeah, no, it was a brutal game if you're a Chargers fan. I don't know if there actually are any Chargers fans. I still think that's a myth.
Definitely not.
Do we ever figure out if that do you remember last year
the Asian lady? Yeah,
Asian lady who went viral for like going, and everyone's like, oh, she's got to be like a paid actor.
She has to be.
I don't know. I found her Instagram the other day, and I'm still trying to figure this out. Something I do want to highlight though about this game, Texans defense, man. I feel like we were definitely seeing like how big of a piece Azeez Al-Shaair truly is for that defense. It was kind of like watching when the Lions were playing the Vikings in Week 18, how Anzalone comes back and that defense really starts to click again. Dude, him playing again like lit up that Texans defense. It was kind of gross to watch. He was all over the field. I mean, he had 3 solo tackles in the game, 2 quarterback hits. I mean, his presence was sure felt all over the field. Thankfully, did not hit any quarterbacks in the head this week.
Not praying for injury, but if he does that next week, I wouldn't be too upset. Taking on the Chiefs.
Patrick
Mahomes.
Oh,
it is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, if he does hit the NFL's Lord and Savior Patrick Mahomes, he'll probably get a Josh Gordon-esque suspension and miss the next 9 years of his career. But let's hope Texans get a little upset. Move on to the next game, Corey. The one that I want to get your opinion. How do we feel about the King Henry great game? AFC North matchup. Look, the production they put together for Amazon Prime with Ben Roethlisberger and Ray Lewis, it got me fired up. I was thinking, Pittsburgh might have a chance. And then the game started.
And, well, you know what? Well, first I want to say Ravens are a damn good team. They were like, Lamar is incredible. We know that. King Henry was just incredible. Just both sides of the ball, just incredible. The Steelers, like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are we doing? like when Freiermuth dropped that opening pass, I'm like, yeah, we're done. I just knew how it was going. I think I saw a stat first quarter, Tomlin and the Steelers like 73-0 or 63-0. They're getting outscored. Are you like kidding me? I'm sorry. Everybody has to go. I'm sorry. Mike Tomlin just hasn't done anything. Their bags were packed for Cancun before this game started. I mean,
you know it's bad when even Boswell doesn't even show up.
that's what I was going to say. Boswell didn't even play.
I was waiting for the special teams lineup to show up. I was waiting for my all-pro kicker to come out of nowhere and put some work in.
It's sad that Corliss Waitman had 257 punting yards and Russ had 270 passing yards. And Boswell was just a bench warmer. I'm everywhere. I mean, we gave up 464 total yards, almost 300 yards rushing.
Look, that is props to Waitman, though. Props to him. Dude. I mean, dude, a 51-yard average for punts, that's pretty good if you ask me. 5 punts within the 20, like he's doing his job.
Yeah, but we should be scoring.
But you're playing the field game. The most important thing in football, you're playing the field game.
I'm sorry, but we just did not want to be there. I mean, John Gruden said it best on Barstool. He's like, they were just going through the motions, fourth and short. Let's just punt it. Let's not be aggressive. The offense, like Najee's regressed. I mean, Warren might be becoming a better back than Najee. I mean, the O-line.
I think that's been cemented for a long time.
Yeah, it's just we have the highest paid defense in the league, and we put up that garbage. It's unbelievable. Pickens can get off the team. He's like Antonio Brown without the CTE.
And honestly, without the same skill. At least Antonio Brown with the CTE was arguably the best receiver in football. I think there can be an argument that Pickens is maybe top 20. I don't think it's a clear-cut top 20.
I agree.
Definitely not.
He's been so like weird this season. I don't know if it's like the expectations and like just there's always this expectation around Steelers football. Like as you said, like now the norm has become 10-7. Like it doesn't matter how good you guys start. Like you guys started the season out really on top of like everything, and then you get to like week 15, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Once
like,
they clinch,
it's December.
We're gonna lose in wild card
once
football.
they clinch the winning record, they had one more W. They beat the Browns,
Yep.
and then they didn't win the rest of the season. And now look, the teams that they played the Eagles in Philadelphia. They played the Ravens in Baltimore. They played Kansas City, and they played the Bengals. So those aren't like give me games that they should win, but the way that they lost, none of them were. The only close game was the Bengals game, and I think the Bengals played one of the worst games of the year.
Even that game, I'm like, they were gift wrapping us the game and drop pass. I thought I was going to throw my TV. It was unbelievable. And you know what? I feel so bad for TJ Watt. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and they still haven't won a playoff game with him. Like, I feel so bad for TJ Watt. And he was literally non-existent in that game.
Yeah.
Really, the last few games. He didn't even record. He wasn't even on the stat sheet this game. Jesus. Like, I don't know what happened. I think Tomlin needs to go. Arthur Smith, I said, his playbook is as big as a napkin. Our offense looked slightly better, but I knew he wasn't going to take us to the next level. We all said that he wasn't going to. It's Arthur Smith with the Hamburglar mustache. Like, we need to clean house. I just think these players would be, I don't know, a little more motivated, or maybe they would be better if we had just new faces, new coaches, because Tomlin hasn't done anything.
Now, Corey, I do got to ask you, hopefully this calms you down a little bit, but who would you rather take you out on a nice dinner date? Like you get to sit down with them for 2 hours. Arthur Smith or Matt Canada? Who are you? Who are you?
Well,
allowed?
definitely Arthur Smith.
Okay.
I would.
You having a better time with him?
I'm having slightly better, but it's not much. It's
okay.
Matt Canada. I would stand up. I'd say yeah, I'm coming, and then I just won't show up.
Where are you and Arthur Smith going? Where you guys getting a nice little dinner? Little Chili's.
Listen,
Permanites?
Permani's, baby.
Permani's, yeah, because we're familiar with the area.
No,
I mean, guys, that's like exchanging one cheap suit for another one.
Cam, you remember last time we went to Permanente together?
Yeah, we do. Big fan of their cheesesteak fries. Depending on the time of the day. Big fan of their cheesesteak fries. Big fan of bell peppers. Awesome fan of bell peppers.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh remembers our trip home.
Okay,
after,
but before we move on away from the Steelers game, Corey, where do you think they're going to move when it comes to quarterback? There's obviously going to be a change come in here somewhere. I think you gave Russ his try it deal. Time for another bridge quarterback. Time for another 10-7 purgatory.
I know what's going to happen. Like, speaking of purgatory, I mean, that's what we're in, is just an endless cycle. We're going to keep Tomlin. We're going to keep Smith. We'll probably keep Russ. No one's going anywhere. No one the Steelers. Nobody's going anywhere.
I think you guys got a new quarterback. John, what do you think about this? Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
I was just about to say that. There's a certain someone that loves Mike Tomlin, so
I mean, that would be
they
nice.
enjoy each other.
But, based on the tears in the locker room at the end of that last game, maybe he's retiring. I don't know.
I mean, we saw how the Jets went this year and how kind of Rodgers is a cancer in the locker room. I don't know if Tomlin will bring him in. It might risk his winning streak. It might risk his consecutive seasons. I don't know if Rodgers could be that guy. It might ruin the culture of win until December and then cease to exist.
Yeah, but maybe if he brings some of that ayahuasca to the team, maybe everyone could keep their cool. Like Pickens could keep his cool a little bit.
They're not going to turn in
listen, did you see what that did to Rodgers when he was out on those trips? Pickens, that guy won't cause a problem.
Oh, no, I still gotta watch that Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it a little
too,
bit.
yeah.
Was it good?
Enigma, man, you gotta watch it.
Ayahuasca, I feel like for some reason Pickens would have the reverse effect and make him crash out. Like it'd be right off a kickoff, and he'd just go out there and spear the kicker.
Yeah. Oh, he
jumps on him, puts his cleat.
That's what I'm saying. Just like Antonio Brown kick to the face, just like. Nothing warranted, just goes out there.
Listen, Pickens just needs to hang out with Kodak Black and Antonio Brown anymore. Like at this point, just
dude, it's gonna be the longest yard mean machine. First play of the game, just goes out there and just starts beating the crap out of the other team.
Before we move away from the Steelers, though, when we look back at this in 10 years, who are we gonna look back and be like that crash out couple? Are we gonna be looking at Najee Harris and George Pickens, or are we going Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown? Who do you think is going to be the king of that?
I still think it's Bell and Brown.
It's got to be Bell and Brown.
Just how Antonio Brown just had his send off on multiple teams. And
the thing is, like, I think when Pickens is done with football, he won't have as big of a presence as ESPN has right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
not.
Like
and some other award show that he was holding too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's move on from this godforsaken game. Yes. Move over to Sunday. Sunday's slate of games, at least if one of them is slightly better. Dude, when the Broncos drove down the field first drive of the game, Troy Franklin catches a touchdown. I was getting a little worried for Buffalo. And then that worry kind of evaporated pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
The Bills let the Broncos get their one. Sean Payton, can he lead this Broncos team? Not yet, at least. I think Bo Nix, for how little faith I had in him coming into the season, he proved me wrong. I think he balled out, and I think Denver does have their quarterback of the future. I think they need to get more weapons around him. I think they need to develop Troy Franklin more. Obviously, they have that Oregon connection. But you're going to run out of time because Bo Nix is 97 years old already. 97-year-old rookie. So you got to do it quickly. But now Denver, this whole season really surprised me with them. But not the result in this one. It was always Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. If you think about it, though, they had, like, the worst cap situation in the league, and they still won 10 games. So I'm sure if they go out and get a bunch of weapons, because next year that won't be the case. They could be a lot better. It's just the division they're in is not good for them.
Yeah.
It is crazy to see.
And then with Buffalo.
Keep going, JD. You got it.
I just wanted to say this. Listen, every year we know they win the first round of the playoffs. It depends what they do the next round. So I think next week's matchup with them and the Ravens is make or break for both of those quarterbacks as well.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had the playoff success, of course, because Mahomes wins every year.
Honestly,
so
that's
hopefully maybe whoever wins that game just gets the Super Bowl.
Honestly, that should be the MVP race right there. That should be the deciding factor. I know all the voting and stuff has already happened, but the winner of that game should probably win MVP.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to Allen and Lamar.
Yeah.
No Saquon love. Running backs don't win awards.
Yeah, running backs do not win awards, and unfortunately, I don't know. If it was a running back award, do you think Saquon would get it over Derrick Henry?
Yeah, because of the 2,000 yards.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if Saquon if they'd let him play that last game against the Giants to go for the record, I think he'd have more of a case. But he'll win Offensive Player of the Year, which is great. But it's always a quarterback award.
Yeah, I was saying in the group chat, I think it was, I don't know. I think I was just talking to John or some. I was impressed with Bo Nix, like we were just saying. I mean, he started the season. We were, all talking about Jaden Daniels, and Bo wasn't really. He was on kind of choppy waters, and then he just settled right in. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see what he does next season. But yeah, I do agree. They definitely need more weapons for him.
And I think especially with the weapons he was given, Sutton's a solid receiver. I don't know if he's definitely not a 1, but he played to his best capability. Franklin obviously had a connection. Marvin Mims was someone who, coming out of Oklahoma, I didn't really, he was mainly just a special teams guy, and he was great as a special teams guy this year for them, but really started to develop as maybe not a legitimate receiver option, but at least a decent
He's going to be
option.
around for a while.
Yeah.
He should be around for a while.
I do think they need to strengthen up the backfield. The Javonte Williams experience, it's done. He has proven that he is not a go-to back. I think continue to keep giving Aldrich Estime shots. But even Jaleel McLaughlin, we got to move on. Go and get. You don't have to spend a top your first pick on a running back, but go and get a good back. This is a really, really, really deep running back class. Take advantage of it. Get one of these skilled guys in the second or third round.
If they can possibly trade up, get an early pick in that second round, maybe draft Scadaboo.
Scadaboo's a beast, dude.
That's if I would not be shocked if he's drafted around those we look at once we get to the NFL draft, we're in that first round. I would not be shocked if Scadaboo somehow falls in between that 22 to 32, that final playoff
It does
teams.
depend on the combine,
But it really is going to depend on the combine, like you just said.
I think Hampton's another good option from UNC.
Yeah.
Both the Ohio State guys, Judkins and Henderson. Those are and those are just to name a few. They're Kyle Monungai out of Rutgers is a guy who, if the running back class is, I would say if the running back class isn't as deep as it is this year, he's probably one of the top 3 backs off the board. But with how talented he is, he's probably going to fall to the 5th round, and whoever gets him is going to be so happy that they got him because he's an absolute. This running back class, this is the year. It's weird. Running backs. Coming into the season, it was we're backs by committee, and running backs were starting to fall out of relevancy. And then what happened in the NFL with Derrick Henry, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and then how good all of the college backs were, running backs might be back. I'm hoping. I want to see some smash mouth football.
I mean, I'm a big fan of that. I mean, you probably know, one of my favorite Eagles of all time, besides Britton Covey, we all know this. People who are close to me know I love the man, the myth, the legend, Grant Calcaterra. Absolute dime blocking tight end. Would love to see more double tight end formations. Get the running backs moving. Get Saquon another 2,000 rushing yards season.
I want to see 2 tight end, 2 running back sets. Let's bring back
the fullback.
Bring back the fullback, yeah. Don't let Pat Ricard be the dying breed. I love Pat Ricard, but he's only got a few years left. Let's bring back fullbacks. Smash mouth.
Man, you can't say that today.
Long Monday.
All right. Speaking of the Eagles, not the prettiest win, I will say, but a win all the same, taking down the Packers, who they were banged up. Jake Jones was having an aneurysm watching Jordan Love, which was hilarious for me.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, he had guys off the street trying to throw it. He had no one yesterday.
That's what I was about to say. Watson enters the game, or he's out entering the game. Then Dobbs goes out with a concussion. Then Reed gets hurt. So you're playing with Joe Schmo. You're rolling Soren out there. You're running out. You're running out the most random players possible. I was saying to Jake that we had creative players on the field for them, just Madden creative players.
One thing I want to say is, if you're wearing a Guardian cap, it does prevent head injuries. And
that's
got knocked out.
It's a really bad look that he was wearing the Guardian cap and then still proceeded to get a concussion. I know the Guardian has really done dividends for players to avoid getting concussions, but it's just really not a good look when the NFL is trying to push players to start wearing these, and then that happens. But no, Cam and I were talking about this before we went live. If this was any other team, the Eagles would have lost this game. It was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about any other team.
Honestly, any other NFC team, I think they lose.
I think you guys would have. I think to an extent, yes. I think you guys, if that's
maybe
the Buccaneers,
not the Steelers.
I think if it's the Buccaneers, I think you guys would win that game.
Nope. Sirianni can't beat the Buccaneers.
That is true, but I think that would be the one example where you could get it through just because of Saquon and how. Granted, if they have Chris Godwin, game
It's
over.
over.
It's over. If you guys are playing Detroit, you might get one more touchdown, maybe one more field goal just because of how shattered our defense is. But Jared Goff is probably throwing for over 300 that game. Like Quinion Mitchell, maybe
Guantanamo Bay, baby.
Guantanamo Bay, maybe one interception on Goff after he tries to throw up some 50-yard bomb.
Yeah, no, Jordan Love threw basically a curl route to Zach Bond on the one interception. Zach Bond looked up and said, "Oh, look what I found," and then started running back. But no, yeah, it's a win all the same. I'm ecstatic that Philly's still alive. Not everyone in this room can say their team is still going.
All right.
Just low hanging fruit. Who knows? Next week I might be in the same boat. Cam might be in the same boat too. We're hoping not. Lions, Eagles would feed families.
Listen, man, it would feed families, but we got to get through the scrambling quarterback. I'm glad we're getting it out of the way in the divisional round because this team has always struggled against the containing a quarterback, just keeping him in that pocket and not having the pass rushes.
Definitely not going to happen.
Definitely got me worried, but can Goff throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, Amon-Ra?
More than that.
Yeah. Am I worried about the offense? No.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
will.
Montgomery coming back, possibly sick. Love that.
Sonic and Knuckles, baby.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, do we even need Knuckles at this point? Supersonic is kind of here now. It's like the end of Sonic 2 when Sonic starts glowing gold. That's what you're doing on Week 18.
But a good segue as the final game that has been played so far. We got one more tonight I'm excited for. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the Commanders and Bucks, Baker stunk. Baker was not good. I'm surprised Mike Evans did as well as he did. When Marshawn Lattimore is on the field, usually he turns into George Pickens. But no, Mike Evans played well, but I got to say, Dan Quinn is just a guy's guy. I've never seen another NFL coach wear backwards hats. And, he's got me fired up. I'm not rooting for the Commanders. Well, I am against the Lions. I'd rather face the Commanders than the Lions. But I'll never root for the Commanders. But, Dan Quinn's got a vote of confidence in me. It's he's just a dude's dude.
Yeah, I just love this team in general. Jaden Daniels just been balling out. And even though I think it's 4 or 5 games have come down to the final seconds, they just got that clutch gene. They keep doing it. I'm excited. And Jaden versus Jared, it's gonna feed families that game.
Doink for the dub against the Bucks.
I mean, if there's a doink that's going to go in, it's going to go in Ford Field. I would not be shocked if we lose that game off.
Well, no, they doinked it in last night.
Well, no, I'm saying that. I'm saying, but I don't know if you guys remember COVID ball against the Ravens when Justin Tucker hit.
Oh my God, yeah.
That stadium loves field goals, man. Heartbreaking field goals. Or if you're Aaron Rodgers throwing it up 80 yards.
I do want to say though, this proves how talented Terry McLaurin is. That he's put up great year after great year with Taylor Heineke, Alex Smith, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Joe Schmoes of the NFL, Sam Howell, the Joe Schmoes of the NFL. And then you get him a good quarterback, and he's 13 touchdowns on the season and balled out again last night against the Bucs. That just proves this Commanders team was always just a quarterback and a good coach away. And now they're just going to build around this offense, and they got to build up their defense a little more. But they're going to build around Daniels, Robinson Jr., and McLaurin. Dude, this is going to be a scary team. The NFC East, the streak of no consecutive winners might continue again next year.
I would not be shocked, man. I mean, I don't know too much about how the Eagles cap space is looking, but you guys got Howie. So
right.
Howie's going to find a way to keep improving that team. I don't think you guys got to worry too much about Dallas and the Giants, but that's going to be exciting to watch you guys battle next year. But job not done.
Job is not done. We got one more game coming up tonight. The Arizona Rams versus the Minnesota Vikings. The
St. Louis, Los Angeles Rams of Arizona.
Yeah. Rams with all the wildfires going on out in California. The game did get moved to Arizona. Unfortunately, the Rams lost their only game in Arizona this year and lost it pretty badly, 41-10. No, then again, everyone and their mother was on IR, so it happens. But curious to see if the Sam Darnold Linsanity run will continue.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a dangerous game. I feel like both of these teams are gonna be scarily, if that's even a word, motivated. With all the stuff after the game against the Vikings, Vikings got beat up. Sam Darnold got shaken. Like, I feel like that's pretty obvious.
He's seeing ghosts again.
Yeah, he is seeing ghosts. He thought he was at MetLife for the final time. But like, I mean, that's gotta be something to light a fire underneath you. And then you got the Rams putting in their locker room the photo of Dan Campbell saying to the Vikings, "See you in 2 weeks." So, granted, we don't see either of them. So, I mean, I feel like this is up to you. Who are you rooting for? Who do you want to see up against you guys? Because I'd like to see Nakua dunk like 90 yards on you guys. I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
I would rather see the Vikings because I think the Linsanity run's coming to an end. I think purely experience for the Rams scares me the most because Darnold has never been in this situation. Now, KOC has gotten them to the playoffs. He's won a couple playoff games. And I think Minnesota is very likely to. I think this is probably the most toss-up game of the entire playoffs for me. I think every other game has been. You can kind of put a maybe the Chargers-Texans game, but I think this is the most even game of the postseason. You have two great offenses, two underrated defenses. Like Cam Bynum. All I root for in this game is Cam Bynum does another good celebration. That's all I care about. I want to see some Cam Bynum backflips and routine dances. I like when he's celebrating.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking at 2000 Disney movies. What's coming?
He already did Camp Rock. He already did High School Musical.
Did they do Teen Beach Movie?
They didn't do Teen Beach Movie.
That might be the next one. I would not. Air Bud? Does Air Bud have a celebration?
Probably. Mighty Ducks, maybe.
Emperor's New Groove.
Maybe Aladdin. They'll pull out a little Aladdin like riding the carpet.
Yeah.
Last thing before we move on from the NFL, we have 6 head coaching vacancies. Now we have 5 with the Patriots making not a surprising move. I think everyone expected it once they got rid of Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel joining his former team to be their new head coach, and I think that is the best coach they could have gotten.
Yeah, definitely. Just from playing there. And you saw what he did at Tennessee. I mean, obviously they didn't go too far in the postseason a lot, but still, from 2018 to 2021, I mean, they had winning seasons. King Henry, they
also in his era, he got a Ryan Tannehill resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
That's he's never had a stud quarterback, and I don't know if you guys watched Drake May this year. Drake May's a stud.
Yeah.
He's going to be such a good quarterback.
He's going to blossom with him.
That's what I'm saying, and they're going to build around that offense. Once you start giving him more, the weapons he has are fine. But once you start building around a quarterback like that, Vrabel's going to make that defense great no matter what. He's done that with every team he's been a part of. So the defense is going to be good whether they invest heavily or they just kind of stick with the guys who they have. They're going to build around the offense, and Buffalo's going to have competition in the NFC or the AFC East.
Don't count out the Jets.
Okay, well, we're joking. We're joking. Sorry, John. It's a low-hanging fruit, dude. I'm sorry.
No, listen though. To be honest though, with the Patriots, they could definitely be one of those teams that stink, and like the Commanders stink this year, make the playoffs next year. I could see it.
100%. I think they would just bringing in.
They
could. Yeah, the cap space is huge, but I think they could make minimal moves and be within that conversation. I think the more moves they make, the closer they will be to grabbing a wild card and closer to competing in the AFC East for that title. I think it's still Buffalo's a hold for a little bit. I think Miami is dumpster fire.
They're going down.
I don't really know what they're going to do. I don't know if they keep McDaniels.
They're going to give him one more year.
Probably. I just don't, because even if they give him one more year, do you think they stick with Tua for another year? I mean, Tyreek has already said his goodbyes. He probably has bought a house in Kansas City.
But then what's so weird about the Tyreek situation is he said his post game, it was he's out of Miami, and then he's kind of buying back into Miami.
That's what
apparently
I heard too. He might
agent
be
said
buying
we're
back
not
in.
leaving Miami. It's he said Tua was the most accurate quarterback he ever played with. So let me ask this question for Tyreek Hill. Hypothetically, he leaves and rule out Kansas City because if he goes back to Kansas City, football is going to be so boring.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the other 30 teams in the NFL who have of the ones who have a legitimate chance to land him, where would you like to see him most?
Broncos.
Broncos would be sick.
I would love that. I think with Bo
Chargers.
Chargers is
that would be
Yeah.
a good one. That would be
Him
a
and
really good one.
Ladd.
That was something I was thinking about yesterday. Is McConkey is great. He had an excellent rookie year. I think Q Johnson balled out. Like really, after all the stuff last year, he had a much better season this year.
Yeah.
So he's your big body receiver, and if you bring in a guy like Tyreek, it gives you the ability to switch him and McConkey in and out of the slot. You have those two super quick guys run around the field. Herbert has the ability. I know Harbaugh's the only thing why it wouldn't happen is Harbaugh is always run first. He loves running the football. But I don't know what it is. So if he is willing to opening up the pass game more, because Herbert was super efficient this year, the least amount of interceptions he's had in his career. There's been years where he throws about 700 times. He doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But if you add a Tyreek Hill to that offense, oh my God, that team I think could compete with Kansas City to win the AFC West title.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like if you give it to like any of those teams, like even if he lands on the Broncos, like that's just another. I kind of just want him to fall in that AFC West to kind of maybe give the Chiefs a run for
He's
their
gonna
money.
go. He's gonna go to the Raiders.
That would be sick. I mean, like he'd probably fit right in.
He would make Desmond Ritter a better quarterback. Not really. AOC.
Like, let's just spin a wheel and pick a quarterback for that team. I don't even know. Like, are they gonna draft one? Like, let's be realistic. Like, I feel like
They should.
They should, but like Desmond Ritter, like AOC, like they've all kind of shown some sort of promise. Like, what was that one game where they kind of like led a final drive and then their
It was against KC.
yeah, and
it's when
their
AOC
their
fumbled.
lineman blew it or something.
Yeah,
I forget what he
AOC
did.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the bad snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Arrowhead magic.
It does depend on who they bring in as their head coach to see if they go quarterback.
Absolutely.
If we had to pick one more team, John, if we had to pick one more team along with the Broncos and the Chargers, where else would be a very good landing spot for Tyreek Hill?
I was thinking about the Commanders as well, because they need another weapon, and that would be insane with Terry too.
That
I've been thinking about this for the past week or so.
I
Teams that
pray
where you
that
can
doesn't
go.
happen.
Commanders would be the best.
I pray that doesn't happen. I have faith in our defense, but trying to guard Terry and Tyreek, it's a little bit scary. And Zach Ertz when he decides to ball out randomly at age 34, 35.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he just moves a little bit up north I-95. Maybe lands himself in Jacksonville. Jacksonville definitely needs it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But like ETN played like garbage this year. Trevor Lawrence,
It's Tank
already,
Bigsby
like,
now. It's not even ETN. That was the worst part.
Yeah.
But no, I could see it, especially with how Brian Thomas Jr.'s first season, like he was excellent. He was the lone bright spot in that offense.
Yeah.
If Lawrence can stay healthy, if you add a guy like Tyreek, it definitely makes the offense more dynamic. And similar situation to the Raiders. It depends on who they bring in.
Yeah.
If they bring in an offensive-minded guy and Tyreek really wants out of Miami, that's a not short trip. It's about 3 hours, 3-4 hours.
It's like 6 or 7.
Is it that as far as
It's
that big?
long.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so used to New Jersey.
Yeah, dude, I drove to Florida for Christmas this year. Like you hit Jacksonville, you hit the border, and it's still like 4.5 to Tampa to go
Golly.
visit my family. Yeah, state is huge, but I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what the contract is going to end up being because I
Yeah.
feel like I don't think I hope no team actually gives him like some 3-year like big deal. I hope someone gives him a prove it deal. Like I hope he just finds a way to sneak in with a 1 year because like he didn't have the greatest season this year. Let's be completely honest.
Well,
With all the antics,
with the antics, with Tua missing time, definitely. But he's too talented. He's too talented to get a prove it deal.
Yeah.
And he's still if not in the prime of his career, just outside of it.
Mhm.
So someone is going to give him a 2, 3, 4-year deal, a ton of money. And if he stinks in the next couple of years, maybe they cut ties with him. I don't know. Obviously, we know all the antics off the field, but on the field, when he has a quarterback who doesn't get dribbled off the ground consistently, he usually plays decent football.
That's true.
But let's move on. College football. We got a week till the national championship. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Freeman versus Day. Leonard versus Howard. John, I know you're fired up for this game.
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, I was telling you this last week. If they win the championship, it'd be the first team of my lifetime won. So I don't know how I would act about that. And listen, I know it's just like everyone will be doubting them and saying they're not going to win just because like the talent difference on the team. But I feel in big defenses always rise, and I think the Irish defense is probably top 5 in the nation. So I think they can stop all the weapons that Ohio State has. It'll be tough, but I think they can do it.
I think Ohio State opened as a right now they're 8.5 or they're 8-point favorites. I think they open as 9.5-point favorites. So it's good that it's trending in that direction. I'm hoping it's not like the Georgia TCU game.
Oh,
it's not even gonna be close to that. That was awful. I'm hoping it comes down to one last drive, give Mitch Jeter a chance to win the ball game. But a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, we did make predictions on how the college football playoffs would shake out. You're struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Cam.
Oh, I've been out.
Me and Cam have been out.
But let's look through. We'll start with me. My champion's out, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I was not rooting for Texas to win. Quinn Ewers pissed down his leg in the semifinals. That's what
Or the
happens.
kicker did. I don't know.
Nah, Quinn Ewers. Which sucks because I really thought he needed this playoff to go well for him to build up his draft stock. And they said a report came out before the game that at the end of the playoffs he was gonna announce that he was declaring for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
I would go back to school for 1 year. With how he was hurt this year, he played poorly, and it's not going to be at Texas. He's going to have to transfer.
Yeah.
It's Arch's team now. But with how poorly he played this year, he needs another season of college football. I think he's going to go. John and I have agreed on this for so long. We think UNC. We think he's going to go with Belichick, and Belichick's going to make him look like a good quarterback prospect.
That'd be fun to watch. That'd be.
How would you feel if you got Quinn Ewers as your quarterback?
It's better than what's going on in the Berg. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, just anything really. I mean,
No, I'm talking for UNC.
Oh, sorry. UNC. I mean, listen, they got banged up. Criswell did fine for stepping in. I just think really for UNC it was just Amarion Hampton that made that team.
Yeah.
They had their struggles, but I think Ewers would be an upgrade, definitely.
I think anything would be an upgrade at this point. I'm curious on what recruits are coming out. I really looked at UNC's recruiting class and what they're going to look like overall. But mainly for my bracket, it looked pretty clean apart from Texas. And that side of the bracket's the only thing that messed me up. I had Ohio State losing to Oregon, and Oregon got dominated. Ohio State has looked so good. That's the only thing, is I feel like Notre Dame finds ways to win. Ohio State dominates games. So that's the only thing going into the national championship that I'd be a little bit worried about. But besides that, I had Notre Dame to the Natty, and John, we agreed we wanted this. Not that I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I want to see you win. You mentioned that you've never seen a championship. The Mets broke your heart. Mets might be getting closer. They were close last year. The Knicks are closing in. The Jets are, the Jets. So I'm rooting for Notre Dame just so you can have a little bit of victory. And also, I just want to see how Jake will react to seeing a team win.
Should probably break the apartment in half.
All right, so let's check in with Corey, your bracket. This is
right from the get-go.
This is rough.
Yeah, I didn't think SMU would suck that bad. I didn't think they'd play that bad. And then Boise State just kept shooting themselves in the foot that game. And, Genty couldn't really do anything. So
couldn't do anything as he still ran for 100 yards.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was on like 32 attempts, but still.
Having 8 guys tackle him every single time. Stacking the center of the field with like 4
Yeah.
I know.
Nick,
And it still didn't feel like a good game. It
No.
was like... But I just, my bracket, and then Oregon getting just decimated. Yeah, it's been bad.
Yep.
Cam.
Where did this go right?
It didn't.
I guess I had a really good first week. Texas got that one right. Skip that game. Penn State, awesome. Like Notre Dame, sick. Too much faith in the first week bye. Too much faith. That's about the way to sum it up here. Really hoping for the NIU Michigan national championship game, because honestly, I hope the stadium burns down. I don't want to see either one of these teams win a national championship. Sorry, JD. Just like literally the two biggest rivals in all of Michigan football. So like not the proudest game. Honestly, I hope Ryan Day falls on his face running out of the tunnel. Never mind. I can't say that one. That'll be after.
JD, for the most part, your bracket, apart from Oregon, looks pretty clean.
Yeah, I had a perfect first round. Then the second round, I had 3 out of 4. Oregon was my champion, so that screwed me over for the rest of the bracket pretty much.
No.
Yeah, because I had no championship. So my whole bottom half was perfect. Just the top got screwed up. But
Wait, John.
and also, I can't stand.
John.
So I just because he went after Lou Holtz. Like, I don't like that. You don't go after a legend like that.
Yeah, John. I'm looking at your bracket right now, and I'm looking at your tiebreaker. I don't think you understood the tiebreaker correctly.
No, I wasn't paying attention. I just meant, like, yeah.
I don't realize it was
So it's how many points have
1937.
we scored in the entire thing?
Yeah, I was about to say, is it 1937 football? Like, oh. But, Cam made the point, and I think we have to have the discussion. You look through the bracket. The teams, every team who had a first-round bye was eliminated. So I do like the expanded playoffs. The 4 teams never felt like enough.
Yeah.
And there was years that teams got excluded when they shouldn't have. And there's the year, like, for example, when Cincinnati made it, or when TCU made it. Yes, they won their conference. They were undefeated. They deserved a chance to be in the college football playoff. But I don't think they were top 4 worthy. But when you look at the first-round buys, you look at the 1 seed. Oregon undefeated all year. They did face Ohio State. Now, I feel like no matter what, Ohio State, it was going to be a game that Ohio State got their revenge. I know I picked Oregon, but it could have been a game, and it turned out to be where Ohio State got their revenge.
Yeah. Those are probably the 2 best teams in college.
100%. Arizona State. And I know Arizona State overall as a team was kind of outmatched by Texas. I don't think we can argue that. I think Arizona State was great. Kenny Dillingham would make me run through a wall, just a dude's dude. Boise. So if you look at all the situations, I'm hoping this is kind of just like an outlier year, and it looks bad that it was the first year. Arizona State, they won the conference, but they were outmatched when they faced Texas. Boise State, miracle run of a season, kind of an outlier. I don't foresee the Mountain West or whoever the other conference representative always being the 3 seed. I think this was just a crazy year that Boise
earned
State.
it.
They 100% earned it. Their only loss before the playoffs was Oregon by a field goal. Like, they 100% earned it. And then you look at Georgia. Georgia was banged up. No Carson Beck. The game getting delayed by a game probably threw them off a bit. But yeah, like if you look at it, all the first-round teams got eliminated. So it begs the question. Is the new format of the college football playoff, is it worth it? Does it make sense? Like, what do you guys think on the new bracket?
I think it's worth it. I just think they got to work out some of the kinks. Like I don't know. Like Indiana being there was like they kind of had a soft schedule. Like how March Madness does it, I kind of like. Obviously, there's 60.
I was gonna say you want a 64-team college football playoff bracket.
But like something like that, but again, I'm kind of torn because it's like, March Madness, if you win conference, it's an auto bid. So it's like, is that really going to work with college football? Because some of these conferences, like you said, do you really want a Mountain West conference winner in the CFP and getting pieced in?
There always will be. There always will be. I think this year, because of how the ACC shook out, that's the only reason. And because of how the stars aligned for how Boise State and the ACC worked out. That's why they ended up like that. Yeah. The Mountain West, or if it's the Sun Belt or whatever conference it ends up being, it's always going to be they're almost like always likely going to be the 12 seed going forward. Yeah. I think this year is just an outlier season. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I like having the expanded teams. I'm hoping next year can prove that the teams who get buys don't get screwed over. It was a weird year, but JD, do you like the
JD's
format?
Gone.
JD's gone.
JD's gone.
JD's gone. Where did JD go? John disappeared.
Someone didn't pay for the Google Meet.
Oh no, John.
Start Soren's Alley time.
Yeah. Is it time?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Sure,
we'll come back to this.
That's why when you were talking to me, I was completely distracted because John's like, hey, so the meet's going to end in like 10 minutes. So I was trying to get – so when you asked that, I was like, oh, no.
All right, we'll get John back in here. But, yeah, why don't we bring on the sauce boss. It's time to go down into the deep, dark, kind of scary Soren's Alley.
My favorite.
Welcome back, Sauce Boss. How we doing, buddy?
Missed you, man.
We are doing great, guys. Like I said, it is great to be back on He Knows Ball after the winter break. Oh my goodness.
And different
A
cameras
lot
and everything.
of things are going on here, but like I said, it's great to be back at Marywood. It's the first day.
How do you like the new Deuce cam, the Deucers cam?
I actually like it because it's actually pretty useful, and I think
Soren likes taking deuces.
no, it's the funny thing is like it's not like I have to walk over and sit down and be at a camera, so it's actually kind of nice. So yeah, I wanted to mention that the Eagles game was awesome to watch. I mean, yeah, it was a little bit of a slow game, but I think that it was a pretty good game to watch. I think the defense played well. Saquon is always going to be Saquon, so it's always going to be a good game. So,
Soren, is
I
Jalen
think-
Hurts the quarterback of the future?
oh yeah, I really think that he's a pretty strong
You
quarterback.
banned the
but they
tush.
also have
You banned the tush push out of the NFL. Does Jalen Hurts still deserve the starting job?
oh yeah, definitely.
There's much worse candidates.
I mean,
out
yeah,
there.
Kenny
It's true.
Pickett, who throws to himself. Like,
I don't know. Tanner McKee looked pretty good.
yeah, I mean,
But I will say though, I think that the quarterback room that the Eagles have, I think it's pretty good. It's solid, but it'll get us by through at least a couple of games that maybe the best team's interests aren't the greatest, but you know, it is what it is eventually. So I think the Eagles might have a really good run here. Hopefully we get the Vikings. I'm hoping and praying tonight, but we will see what happens with that. Obviously, over the New Year's Eve, Virginia Tech did get to play a bowl game. I
Yippee.
forgot to mention that,
Congratulations.
but we sadly lost to Minnesota. So
Minnesota.
that wasn't great, but I was watching on social media of the Minnesota head coach getting dunked in mayo was pretty hilarious, and I think that's, I guess, an annual tradition that they have. So that's always fun. But going to the NHL now, as you may have seen on the set, there is a new hockey jersey there. It's a Maple Leafs jersey.
Welcome back, JD. We're in Soren's alley. Sorry,
And
Soren.
yeah, so the hockey jersey's new. It's basically a nice little alternative Maple Leafs jersey. But speaking of the team, they're currently on a 2-game losing streak. Oh no, that's not great. But we are excited.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I am really excited to see them play against the Dallas Stars on Tuesday, I believe.
well, they've been
Tuesday
red
night.
hot, Soren.
But I just think the Dallas Stars team is overrated. So
Here,
I actually saw
Dallas,
him-
if you're watching,
Yeah.
Soren's coming for you.
Yeah, so
Oh,
his
sucks.
address is
Dallas always sucks.
yeah, Dallas is no fun, as we
BTA.
all say. But yeah. Also, I also thought going to the college basketball floor.
Sure.
The Villanova Wildcats shockingly beat UConn in a great game. I mean, I can't believe UConn was missing all those free throws. Like, what are you guys doing? Like,
Yeah, usually
you gotta make them.
usually dogs beat cats. Usually Huskies take care of Wildcats.
Yeah.
But I guess tonight that one was a little bit different.
They are free throws for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently
I
they're not
mean-
free.
Villanova is known to do well at the free-throw line, but UConn wasn't selling it at the last couple of minutes of the game, and I felt that was a little disappointing as well. But yeah, so that was an interesting game to watch also. But the college football playoff, man. JD, I know you're back on, and I really wanted to say this, man. But let's go Irish because I hate Notre Dame right now, man. I am so sick and day.
Wait. You just said go Irish, and then I hate Notre Dame.
Oh, no, wait. Actually, hold on. Let me correct myself. Let's go Notre Dame, man. I
You hate
mean, we
Ohio
need to beat Ohio State, man. I am so sick
What's
and
the
tired of
mascot?
Ohio
Ohio
State,
State.
right
Let's
now.
go, Soren.
Oh, my God. I actually agree with what Cameron said earlier.
No,
that
you
I
don't.
really want to see Ryan Day fall down, man. I mean,
He did say
that is...
I did say that, but I also said I hope the stadium burns to the ground. The college football playoff just doesn't exist, and it's between NIU and Michigan.
I mean, listen.
I'm so mad at the NIU kicker. He never sent me my cameo.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I just want to see Notre Dame win because I hate Ohio State, and I'd rather also see them. Well, I mean, I would just say Notre Dame's a great football team in its entirety. I think Riley Leonard has a good offense going, and oh my goodness, I think it will be a great game to watch. I hope and pray
That's what's up.
that Notre Dame wins the game. Maybe I'm stumbling a couple of times, but
It's okay.
yeah, that's what really matters. And
Great way to come back.
but like I said, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Like I said, it's a new year, new everything. So I'm really excited for my capstone. I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, I am actually committing to making a food and sports podcast. So I'm really excited to go into that.
Sporty Bites, baby.
And Sporty Bites is going to make a debut, and it's going to be very exciting. But I will leave you guys with this. I think that I do have a hot take.
Oh,
I think
Spicy. Be careful.
I
It's spicy.
think now that the New Year's is over, I think that we need to bring back LMFAO.
Wait, the band? Wait, the singing group?
Yes, we need to bring them back.
Like sorry for party rocking LMFAO.
Yep.
We need to bring them back.
Oh my god.
We need to bring
Wow.
them back, guys. We need to party
Never thought that would
hard.
see the light of day.
Look,
That's a winner.
Soren, here's the thing. Soren has said some wild things, and he truly does have unpredictable things when he's talking. I don't think in a million years I would have bet on Soren saying we need LMFAO.
Well, just imagine someone's just like a pretty like diehard HKB fan, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're back, new episode." He tunes in, and he just hears
LMFAO.
Soren. Hey, we need to bring back LMFAO, and it's like, is that like an acronym for like two different players or something? Like,
Yeah, when he said I had a hot take, I was scared on where he was going to go with it. I mean, sure, man. Look, Sorry for Party Rocking was a good song when I
Yeah.
was like in 5th grade. I'll start bumping it. It might be the new pregame hype song. No more zombie. It might be LMFAO little playlist.
Yeah, and for people that are unaware of this musical band,
I don't think anyone is.
but for people that are unaware, it's a musical hype band that makes great club music. So I am so excited. I really
musical
want-
hype band.
I really
I
want
think
them
I think
back.
we need to get
Right now.
I think we need to get Soren a DJ table and let him control aux for a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen, I think
crying.
there's one bar in town that was looking for a DJ.
Soren, go apply,
DJ
man.
Sordog, the
The
saucy hour.
The sauce boss at the rail yard. Get him hot. Get him loose. Keep him loose and sexy, Soren. All right.
That's how we're looking into the new year.
Sword dog.
All right, let's get. We got to get the heck out of this alley,
God.
Soren. We'll
Bye,
check back in with
Bye,
you in a little
guys.
bit. Oh my lord!
Wow, what a way to start the new year.
What a way for Soren's Alley to make its return.
Sorry.
For
Party rocking.
all right, JD. Before you evaporated from the face of the earth, we were talking about the college football playoff bracket. I want to get your intake. What do you think about the new format? Is it going to work long term? Was this kind of an outlier? What do you think about the whole kit and caboodle?
Yeah, so listen, I think we can break it down a few ways. If you think about it now, college football is probably at its like the best time because there's so many teams that can compete with each other because of NIL and all that stuff. So I think the more teams, the better. I just think that seeding purposes, that the top 4 seeds can't be the way they did it this year because it just didn't work, I don't think. So I feel like maybe the best 4 teams, regardless of what conference they're in, get those top 4 seeds. So say the top 4 teams are SEC teams, so be it. Whatever happens, that way, that'll work like that. Because I feel like Boise State, we know they're not a top 4 seed worthy team. We saw Penn State destroy them. Like that wasn't even competitive on the field.
Yeah.
And that was probably the only game I feel like that people can question though, because of course Oregon was the number 1 team. They just came out flat. Arizona State should have won that game. They hung in there, so I feel they have a bone to pick if they were to read differently. But yeah, in my opinion, I feel keep to 12 teams. I don't know, maybe expand to 16 one day if it goes well. Just the top 4, like the seeding thing, kind of got to change a little bit. Especially too, like because I'm a Notre Dame fan, we can never get a top 4 seed. I think is ridiculous because they're not in the conference. I think that's stupid.
I definitely like that. I think top 4 teams no matter what. So let's say it was Oregon. Just like let's say next year it's Oregon, Georgia, Alabama, and Notre Dame. Let that be that. One of the other points, and I'm glad that we circled back to this because I would have forgotten it otherwise, is obviously you get the first round bye, you get that extra time off. Why are they not playing home games? If you want to make any college, like the college football games, how like the quarterfinals were all bowl games, make it the first round. Have that be you. If you're a top 4 team in the nation, you should be able to play on your home field for the college football playoffs. You let the first round do it, which is fine. I don't think you can do it for both. You have to pick one or the other. I think there's more of an advantage at playing at home than having one extra week off.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
I would love.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, like you looked at all the home teams won in the first round. And then all the lower seeds won in the second round. So I'm curious if, Notre Dame's traveling to Georgia, if Penn State has to go out to Boise State, like I'm curious on if it has that true home field effect. So CFP committee, not that you're listening, but if you're listening, maybe.
Oh, they're listening.
Maybe circle back. Maybe like take a little gander at that goose.
Yeah, you guys get your act together.
Yeah. Speaking of people who get their act together, I think it's time. A little bit of a Moi Goy of the week.
Wait, is that your goy?
Oh, I thought that was your goy.
No, that's
Moi Goy of the week.
We'll stick with college football real quick. I'm the only one who went that route. And John, I bet you're real proud of my pick. My Goy of the week is Marcus Freeman, head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Might be the first time we've gone with the coach. I don't know if we have yet.
So.
Oh, I think I went with NIU. I think it might have been either the Lost Chronicle or the last episode or the second episode.
So it all comes full circle. The only team to beat Notre Dame
Oh
to
my
now
God,
Notre Dame's coach. Notre Dame 13-game winning streak. And not only that, they have been excellent since. That loss to NIU could have derailed their season.
Yeah.
They could have gone,
we were talking about
They
that,
could
too.
have gone 8-4 and still gotten a bowl game, but just a year where John and the rest of the Fighting Irish fans just kind of disappointed. And they have not only the rest of the regular season game that they win, they dominate. There was only one game the remainder of the season. It was against Louisville. That was a 1-possession game. Every other game, they won by 2 or more possessions. And they look at some of the teams. They play like Purdue, like the teams that they should kick the crap out of.
Yeah.
But they were excellent, to say the least. And then in the postseason, you face Indiana, battle for the state in South Bend. The Irish come away. Then Georgia, even without Carson Beck, this Georgia team is ultra talented. Gutsy W. And then against Penn State. Now, James Franklin can't win big games. Drew Aller
Sucks.
pissed down his leg.
He sucks.
He pissed his little pants, threw an interception, and then cried about it post-game. And it's your fault, buddy. I hate Drew Aller. I think he's terrible.
I hate Penn State. Just so
but
you know.
no, like seriously, like 3 wins where it wasn't going in there and winning by 50. Like they had to grind their way through the postseason, and props to the entire roster. Jeremiah Love, Ryland, the entire team, top to bottom. But it starts with coaching, and Marcus Freeman is the reason that this Notre Dame Irish team is 1 W away from the first national championship since 1988. And I don't think there's an opponent that Freeman would want more. Freeman has faced Ohio State twice and has lost both times in his coaching tenure. Notre Dame has just 2 wins against Ohio State lifetime in 8 matchups, but only 2 wins. And they were before the forward pass might have been invented. The last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State, it was 1936. The final score was 7-2.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot going for this game, and I think Freeman has definitely put his hat in the ring for being one of college football's best coaches. I think if he wins, he knocks off an Ohio State team who, John, I think you can agree with this, is top to bottom roster-wise is a better team. I think it cements his legacy as one of college football's best coaches.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that. I mentioned it a little before, but they're definitely way more talented. They should win. They spent $20 million on their roster, so if Ohio State doesn't win, that's kind of fraudulent to me. But I can see how Marcus Freeman – listen, He came in and they were like, "Oh, we don't know about this guy because he's so young. He's only 37 years old, so he still has so much more. Like, I feel to get out of coaching, and I'm sure he'll go to the NFL one day and be successful as well. I hope so. But as long as he's a coach in Notre Dame, I hope they keep winning. But we saw year one he came in, they weren't his player. Won 9-10 games last year, same thing, and then this year they just exploded. Like you said with NIU though, that's how you know he's a good coach. He kept that team together. That could have been that game. They're like, oh, we lost to a team like this. We're nothing. He made sure they stayed together. And listen, the team that always has nothing to lose is the team that's the scariest, and I feel that's what they are in the championship game. Ohio State has all the pressure on them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Playing with house money, I think. Yeah. Obviously, we'll give picks for that come next week, but I think Notre Dame's playing with house money. It could be game could get very spicy.
Mm-hmm. Look, Freeman's probably going to be the Jets coach next year. So
how would you feel about that, John?
About that one?
Oh, I would love that because he would instill discipline in a team that didn't have any, as you guys know that I've raged about the entire season.
Yeah,
that's one thing they need. I mean, I'm sure they would, especially a guy like that. You know, you have to respect him when he has that presence.
All right, JD, we're gonna stick with you. Who is your boy?
Corey, I hate to see it. 108. You know, you got the notes here, but he's at 108 yards. Touchdowns, you can see how good he is. I don't know why he could be the man or goal to carry this team to the Super Bowl. So if he has these type of performances every week, I am putting him as boy goy every week for the rest of the season, guys. So don't try to steal him from me, please. But there was one thing I was curious about to see like his all-time record in the postseason. This was his second best performance, despite almost having 200 yards. He had 195 against the Ravens as a Tennessee Titan a few years back.
I remember that miracle run when the Titans won the AFC Championship.
That's right.
I remember I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
I think the Ravens.
I remember exactly where I was at. I found it out. I fell asleep. I was keeping up with them, and I woke up and I saw the game and I saw Ravens lose the Titans and Derrick Henry had almost 200 yards. I said, "What?" I was like, "Am I dreaming?" My friend was vacuuming. It was 2 in the morning. I was very confused. I was caught off guard. Don't ask my friends do. Obviously. Okay. But yeah, Derrick Henry, man, he's proven that he's a beast, but could lead this Ravens team. Interesting to see what he'll do against Buffalo next week. Corey, who is your guy?
Well, it's not Derrick Henry, but I did, shout out Derrick Henry. Great performance. It's the lad from Georgia, Lad McConkey.
Ladarius?
we already talked about him, but, despite a horrendous wild card game, he balled out. I mean, 9 catches, 197 yards, 1 touchdown, also set an NFL rookie record, also joined Megatron and Demaryius Thomas for receiving yards in a playoff debut, and I'm just excited for his future. I think he just showed how much of a threat he is, and hopefully he'll carry this type of performance in the next season. So
yeah, I'm hoping for no sophomore slump.
That's what I was gonna write, but
stay healthy, stay balling. Ladarius.
Lad. Stay a lad.
All right. Let's wrap this one up, boys. Got one more wild card weekend game, but it's Monday, so it's no longer. Weekend. We'll get to celebrate the weekend, maybe with some LMFAO.
Oh.
Sorry for party rocking. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up with Monday night picks. The bracket resets, or the standings reset. Fortunately, Cameron, the former king, can he reclaim his crown, or will it go to someone else? John, I don't know what we're gonna do if you end up becoming the leader in the standings, because you're all the way in the island of Staten in New York that is new. So
FedEx one day.
yeah, we'll FedEx.
I can always go out and buy one.
You FedEx? No. This is you can't buy the crown.
So
it was crafted from velvet leather and
real gold, real
and
gems.
real gold, real gem. Like, what do you mean buy one, John? This is as authentic as it can get.
Unless you're flexing your money or something,
Yeah.
John. Unless you got more money than all of us.
JD's Empire, JD Empire Sports Talks. Really, it's bringing in the bread apparently.
Oh yeah.
But all right, let's wrap this up. Monday night matchup. We got the Arizona Rams of St. Louis and Los Angeles, and tonight of Glendale, Arizona. against the Sam Darnold-led resurgent year, KOC coached, Brian Flores, DC, Jay Jettas flying through the air, the Minnesota Vikings. The last game of the weekend. Football season's drawn to a close. Such a sad time. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I usually don't try to predict wrong, but I'm going to try and predict wrong this time. I got the Rams winning 27-24. I think, I mentioned it earlier, I think Sam Darnold's miracle run is drawing to a close. I don't think he's going to have a terrible game. I don't think this Vikings team this season is destined for greatness. They had a great regular season, but I think the tank's on E and they're going to come up short. I think the Rams have much more playoff experience. I know KOC as a coach has playoff experience, but I think McVay's been to the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. Stafford now has a Super Bowl ring. Like a lot of this, there's still a good amount of this Rams team. I know since their Super Bowl run, there has been a lot of turnover, but there's still a handful of guys from that core. And then you had a guy like Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. Jared Verse has been awesome on the defensive end. I think this Rams team has too much going for them. So yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Rams, but I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong. I would prefer to face Minnesota instead of the Rams in the next round. But Corey, where are we going in this one?
Sticking with you, Rams 24-20, and this was really a toss-up for me. It was tough to decide, but I just think because the Rams have been on a heater, they've won 5 of 6. I mean, Stafford, his last 5 games, 11-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's been playing out of his mind. You know, we can go on about Kyron and Puka. They've been playing so well. You know, I think the Rams have their number. They beat them in Week 8, and also this game's in Arizona, and the Rams are used to playing in neutral site games because they play at SoFi. So, Rams 24-20, but I really think it can go either way.
I think that's going to be the consensus of what we talk about. JD, where's this one going?
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings 26-23. I wrote as my first sentence, I couldn't decide on this one, really. I just kind of flipped the coin and said Vikings will win. It'll just be one of those type of battles. Honestly, I don't think this is a game that should be played in the wild card round, but of course, with seeding purposes, that's the case. The Vikings only lost 3 games this year, guys. They lost to the Lions twice. Last week was embarrassing, so I think people kind of match over. I just think the magic is just set up. And they did lose the Rams. I just think the Vikings are super explosive, so I just think they need to give Aaron Jones the ball more. The last month or so, they kind of shied away from the run play action. I wrote neutral site, but it really doesn't matter. Maybe a little more beneficial for Minnesota, but not really because the Rams never have home field advantage. I think the one key to this game is will Brian Flores stay aggressive against Stafford? Because Week 8, Stafford threw 4 touchdowns and a ton of yards against that defense. Mm-hmm. I know Brian Flores only has that one type of mindset, blitz. But Stafford's not the guy you do that against, so I'm curious to see the chat between us and that. So whoever that, I think Vikings 26.
All right.
Good pick.
Cameron.
Good pick. So, I already said we canceled the college football playoffs, so we can't cancel this game, unfortunately. So this game, I'm gonna choose the victor with 27-17. I am taking the Los Angeles, St. Louis, Detroit Rams of Arizona to win this absolute battle. Hopefully, they take their amazing team. I hope Sam Darnold throws a pretty all right game. I want him to get that big contract. I want him to set back Minnesota by 3 years. Like trade JJ McCarthy, you'll be fine without him. I pray that Sam Darnold has a really good game. He signs a contract and he blows it next season. Set Minnesota back. That'd be awesome to watch. I also hope to see the Rams at Lincoln Financial Field because Stafford Goff NFC Championship has a great ring to it, but that we would lose that game. 100% we would lose that game against the Rams if we played them again in the playoffs. But that would be sick to watch an NFC Championship. But yeah.
Is that what we got?
Hold on. What's that dude? Colby Parkinson. Anytime touchdown.
Good pick. Good pick.
That's an all Rams table.
Well, let's go behind the scenes to the Deuce Cam. Soren, who do you got in the Monday night matchup?
For this game, for Monday Night Football, I'm going to take the Vikings in a close game, 24-20. I think this is. I think this is. Oh my God. I think that this will be an interesting matchup between the two teams, and the Rams have been dominant lately, but anything can happen in the playoffs. For me, just personally, I think that Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones will keep this game close for the Vikings, but hopefully they can keep their hopes alive in the playoffs. I would definitely say maybe a Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown.
Safe pick.
Safe.
Safe pick.
Too safe.
Sorry, let me ask you this. Obviously, you're picking Minnesota to win off of your gut feeling, but as an Eagles fan, who would you rather? Would you rather face Minnesota or would you rather face the Rams?
In my honest opinion, I think the Vikings are probably going to be the best suited because I don't know if you remember our run in the Super Bowl.
How could I forget?
We had a pretty decent team back then in 2019. And
No, 2018.
Or 2018,
There you
excuse
go.
me. Couldn't remember the year, but anyways. I just think that we had a pretty decent team then, and I think, like I said, if our offense and defense can prevail in these playoffs, and we can also have a pretty interesting special teams with the first play in that game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, I think we can make a pretty good run.
Usually that's what happens when your offense and defense play good football and your special teams plays good football. You tend to win games. Big Z, what do we got for this one?
So everybody's had a pretty close game except for Cam, and mine is sticking with that. I have the Vikings 27-23. I think Sam Darnold's gonna have another good game, a little bounce back. It's been a bounce back season. Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, I think, are too good for the Rams secondary, and throw in Hawkinson as well, who I think is gonna remind people that he's a good tight end in the league. I think Sam Darnold also rushes for a 50-yard touchdown at some point.
50-yard rushing touchdown?
50.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna break out.
JD from out of nowhere. Well, I do want to say, Minnesota's offense has been super dynamic this year. Obviously, when you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Aaron Jones, and then half a season of T.J. Hawkinson, and even a guy who's balled out and has been sneaky good for him, Jalen Naylor. He's not the go-to. Obviously, he's the fifth option in that offense. But when you forget about him is when he strikes, and I wouldn't be surprised if they put all their focal point on Jefferson and Addison and Jones and Hawkinson, and then the old Jalen Naylor streak route. He gets a little go ball, and maybe not a Sam Darnold 50-yard touchdown run, but maybe a 50-yard touchdown pass. I could definitely see that a little bit more likely. But yeah, no. So for the first bit of standings, we're gonna have split. Will it be the Rams of this side of the table, or the Deucers and the man from the island of Staten at the top of the bracket? And also point differential. Very interested to see what's gonna go on. Corey, we got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm just excited for the rest of the NFL playoffs. Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes is slain in a football game. And hopefully, we see I want to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Vinny, but I want to see the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Don't we all?
Cam has endured too much pain.
I think my dad would cry either way. I think
the Lions are the commies, one of the two.
Okay, not the commies. Lions or Eagles?
Come on, Jaden Daniels, Super Bowl.
This is his first year. He can go.
He's got more time.
But yeah, JD, you got anything else for us from the island of Staten in the York that is new?
Nothing much. Just will be a fun season 4 from a different lens, being home, but doesn't feel any. Feels the same pretty much. Happy to be back.
Agreed.
Fired up. The Deucers behind the cam, behind the screens, so handsome. Staying loose and sexy this semester. That's how we're rocking, Cameron. What you got?
Is that our motto now?
Before we end off today's show, we're gonna probably end on a little sour note. Soren sent me the news. Soren with the breaking news from behind the computer. He's the new Jamie now. Nakobe Dean.
I did see that.
Torn pec out
Done.
for the year.
Yeah.
Dog. Absolute dog.
Yeah, it does suck. Dean was excellent this year, but I still think this defense is built different. Cooper DeJean, favorite
Not a
player.
safety.
He's not a safety, you're right?
Just a
He,
corner.
well, he plays the slot. I don't know if he locks down your receiver one, but he's not, and he's also not CB1, but he's a very talented CB. So I'll
I
take
don't
it.
know, dude. I feel like CJ Garner-Johnson would be like, give me a Monra and then just get cooked for like 3 touchdowns. That
No,
game.
it's gonna. If the Lions were to play the Eagles, Amon-Ra would be put on Guantanamo Bay.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Birds. Let's wrap this one up. Make sure to follow us Instagram. Obviously, you're on YouTube, but keep checking out YouTube. Subscribe, notifications on, all that good stuff. TikTok as well. But for Corey to my right, Cam to my left, Deucers behind the camera, John from Staten Island. I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. Stay ballin' Scranton.